up. As you can probably hear, it's absolutely peeing it down again outside. So I'm going to do another workshop session for my Barnsley Biker video diaries. This time I'm doing a modification to the clutch on the Triumph to try and make it a little bit lighter. Seeing as the last time I rode it, the clutch cable snapped for the second time since I've owned it. It's always a little bit on the heavy side, and when it gets warm it starts to drag badly. So I'm going to film it as I do it. I bought what's supposed to be an upgrade kit that makes the clutch operate better, more evenly, and can be set up so it operates more lightly. So we'll give it an install and see how it goes. Okay, as I said, first thing to do is to drain the oil. Under here there's one of the what looks like a casing bolt is actually a level stroke drain plug. Let's just pop that up so we can get to see it a little bit better. And the easiest way to do this sometimes is to just put an axle stand under, foot peg onto the side, just gives you enough lean to see what you're doing down here. Okay. Just looking for something to put the bits into, and just so as I don't drop anything into the oil drain while I'm taking bits and pieces, I'm doing these casing bolts, etc. We'll just put that in there for now, and let me find a tray. Got something somewhere, must have. Look. There we go. Okay. Excuse me, let's okay. Let's see. I'm just going to help. I'm going to ease that off so we can let air in to let the oil out, shall we say. Okay, so right. While that's trickling out, let's make a start. Hopefully most of the spanners I need are in the toolkit that I take with me. So he says there's some oil going to dribble out once we loosen that cover. There's always a little bit left in there, but I mean, we did an oil change probably 300-400 miles ago, so over winter the bike had an oil and filter change, so the oil that's coming out is nice and clean, which is good news. When I bought the bike, this cover was chromed and it was all peeling off, so I had the chrome polished off. And the company that did it did quite a decent job, so I'll just put that in there out of the way. So I'm going to try and keep that something like, yeah, probably a bit of play in that. Right. Okay, we're going to have a go at loosening the three screws that hold the clutch. These three here. Now, doing the old YouTube tutorial, these just come off. I have read somewhere that there's like a lug that allows them to be tightened easily, but doesn't allow them to be loosened that easily. So we have to maybe put some tension behind. Again, on the YouTube videos nobody mentions that, so let's have a go. I have bought, it should be in my British toolbox, And there it is. Okay, let's see if YouTube was right, or if the suspicions were right. Okay. That's coming off quite easily. Don't know if you can see, the reason you use a special tool is the threaded stud that you screw these down onto protrudes to the, you adjust them so they come flush with the head of the bolt that you're tightening down, so that allows you to get purchase on the head of the bolt. There it's like a mushroom dome head that's slotted over the top of the threaded stud that you're putting it onto. So yeah, that's the special tool that we're using. I did try a modified screwdriver. It worked, but you didn't quite get the purchase that this, because this is like a T-bar handle, gives you better purchase when you're trying to turn, especially tightening them up. They're loosening a lot easier than they tighten. That one's chewed up quite badly. Excuse my back. Let me just I've got an old baking tray that I use for these sort of operations. Again, I'll show you the bits that I'm taking off and putting to one side here, because the springs, one thing I need to do is measure the springs as well, just make sure they're all same length, all equal length. But for now, we'll just put them all to one side there, and then we can, I'm going to be taking all the clutch plates out as well, maybe not straight away, but we'll have a look, see how easy it all comes apart. All the videos I've shown, I've been looking at that show you how to do this, are right hand gear change bikes. I'm just hoping that everything comes past that quite easily. Should do, it should be clearance. There we go. I just love it when a plan comes together. Right, cups a little bit. Okay, so there's the 3 cups. And that's the pressure plate. We'll put that there, that way up. Right, okay. Right. Okay. This is a yep, so those 2 plates may be stuck together. Okay, there you have it. Okay, so that's the clutch out, and as per the YouTube videos, it was quite easy. Just have a quick look at what we've got. There you have it. So they're the cups, 3 springs and the cap, mushroom head, slotted screws that hold them in, bolts that hold them in, whatever you want to call them. And there's the clutch plates. As I say, I've never seen pictures of clutch plates with the holes in, which is interesting. I'm going to have to do a little bit of looking up at that. Obviously it's a replacement clutch, it's not going to be the original one, but for now I'm going to leave it at that. When we come back next time, I'll show you the piece that we're going to put in that modifies everything, and we'll set about, I'm supposed to shorten the push rod apparently by a small amount, so we'll have a look at doing that and have a look at and seeing how easy it all goes back together. But for now, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put kettle on. I suggest you do the same. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Right, we've got everything apart and inspected. It's now time to start putting it together and installing the new pressure plate upgrade. So we're going to crack on with that today. But before I do that, I'm just going to let you have a look at the clutch plates I've taken out. A few people seem to be of the opinion that they're actually genuine plates that have been drilled. But if anybody can throw any light on them, I've never seen clutch plates like this anywhere, and I've had a quick look on the internet and I can't find any relating to a Triumph 750 that have been drilled like this. So let me know in the comments, see what you think. But here, as you can see, there's the clutch plates, and all the steel ones are drilled like this. So yeah, don't know, as I say, in the comments or when I've gone on onto the internet, anybody that's commented on there has said that they think they're standard ones that have been drilled. They could be, don't know. Not experienced any clutch slip. The reason for the upgrade is the opposite. I get a lot of clutch drag, especially as the clutch gets warm and in heavy traffic. So on a couple of occasions I've reached a point where I've not been able to disengage the clutch because it's got so warm, and it's been dragging so badly I've had to stop at the side of the road and wait for it to cool down. So hopefully this upgrade should prevent that. We'll see. Anyway, let's get on putting it all back together. Reading the instructions, it looks like the next step is I've got to shorten this so that I can fit the plunger that's supplied with the kit onto the end of the push rod before I put the pressure plate on. That's the new pressure plate that I'm fitting with the adjuster in the middle. This basically allows there to be a bearing surface on the clutch there, which helps with the clutch lifting. On the old one there was no bearing surface as such, so fingers crossed that's the theory anyway. So I need to measure this carefully. According to the instructions, that's about 300 millimeters long, give or take a millimeter, and I need to shave off it 31 millimeters. So I'm going to do my best to accurately measure it and then trim it. The ends of this are hardened. I'm hoping the hardening doesn't go too far down and make it difficult to cut, but the ends are hardened, so once I've cut it and made sure it's square, I've then got to warm it up and re-harden it. So we'll be doing that as well, so bear with us. I'll not bore you with the measuring and sawing. I'll come back to you once it's cut and we're starting to install it. So for now, that's the next stage. Leave you with it. Okay, I've cut, I've measured and measured and measured, and because my push rod was about 2.5 mil shorter than given in the specification, we're aiming to get it down to a total length of about 296 by my calculations, he says. Sorry, 269, my mistake. Hoping to get it down to a total length of 269. So because mine was slightly shorter, I've adjusted the amount we need to cut off. Hopefully we're going to be somewhere about right. I'm just cleaning the end up. I'm going to try and make sure it's as true as we can get it using the tools I've got, and then I'm going to give it a bit of a blast in the gas ring and quench it to re-harden the end. So But that's where we're at for now. Just going to finish this off. Excuse the squealing. Okay. Just take the bearing off with a bit of emery paper, and then I'm going to go inside. I need the gas ring. I need to get that cherry red and then quench it in some water. So bear with us. Back with you in a minute. Thanks. We're going to replace the clutch plates, I suppose, in the reverse order that they were taken out. We've not disturbed them as such, so they're going back in as they came out. So friction plate first, then a steel plate, doesn't need to be any signs of excess wear, raised areas or whatever. I say some people have said that they think that this has been modified by somebody in the past, drilled. Not sure either way. Okay. Right, this is the bit that we're not fitting, this is the bit that we're replacing, the pressure plate, so I'm just going to put this to one side for now. Okay. Okay, just a bit of an update on how we're getting on with the Triumph. There's been a bit of delay because while I got it in bits, I decided to order new clutch springs and new nuts that tighten down onto the clutch springs, because the ones that I took out were a little bit chewed up. And what I found is, in trying to get the push rod to the right length, I've had to take it apart, put it together, take it apart, and the fact that they're chewed up has made that a little bit difficult. So I thought, while I'm at it, we'll replace those, going to make the job a little bit easier. But I've also, fitting of this, or getting this push rod to the right length, has been a little bit of trial and error. It says that in the instructions. Basically the instructions tell you to take, I think it's 31mm off the end of the standard push rod. It also gives you the length that the standard push rod should be. When I measured mine was already shorter than the standard push rod, so I did a quick calculation to adjust the amount I needed to take off to compensate for the fact that my push rod was shorter. Put it all together, I didn't have any clearance on the clutch adjuster nut. It tells you again in the instructions, same as on the standard clutch, you turn it down until you've got resistance, then back a quarter turn. It was already giving resistance when I put it all back together. So I took the push rod out again, took a little bit more off. Obviously I'm not wanting to get to a situation where I've taken too much off. Put it all back together, still not quite enough. Basically when everything was adjusted up, I didn't get enough lift on the clutch before it was interfering with the casing, I found out. So again, I've now taken a little bit more off. In the instructions it tells you how many threads should be left showing on the clutch adjuster, which I thought I'd got the first time I trimmed it, but obviously I'd not got it quite right. Taking another sliver off the end, again, trial and error, trial and error. Hopefully this time we've got it right. Now the new parts have come anyway, the new springs and the new nuts. I'm going to put it all back together, and hopefully this time everything will be working, there'll be enough clearance, and we'll be able to get out and do that test ride that I promised you all. But yeah, that's where we're at. Been a bit of a delay, as I say, waiting for the parts. They're not taking that long to come, but you know, it's also a bit frustrating. You're waiting for the postman 2 or 3 days and you can't get on with the job. and now the weather's nice, I'd like to be out there and giving it a ride. But hey ho, such is life. So I'm going to put it all back together. Hopefully the next time I talk to you, we'll be getting our kit on and we'll be going out and taking it for a ride. But let's see how it goes. If it doesn't work, I'll come back, I'll give you an update, and we'll obviously maybe have to take a little bit more off, but I think we should be about there now. But that's the new pressure plate that we fitted, CNC cut from aluminium. The theory is it's a lot more rigid, doesn't suffer from warping in heat, etc., gives you a more consistent clutch action, and it's not, in theory, as crucial on getting the tension equal on these. I'm going to tighten them all up. Apparently, again, in the brief it says that you may get away with not putting as much pressure on the springs because of the way it works. You don't need to tighten them down until the threads are level with the top of the this nut. So we're going to tighten them up so that the stud that we're tightening onto is just in the groove, and see how we go. If it doesn't work, we can always adjust it later. But that's where we're at for now. Okay, we're getting all togged up. We're going to take Triumph out and see how this clutch is working. So bear with us, and hopefully we'll get a bit of a ride in. Weather's looking all right, so a bit cloudy, but we'll get a ride in. So let's see how it goes. Okay, well there you have it, we're back, and I have to say I'm actually impressed. Yeah, after sorting out and getting that push rod to the right length, I'm impressed. Yeah, it took a bit of setting up and sorting out and that, but once you get it right, that clutch is a lot lighter. It's also almost as good as you get on some of the Japanese bikes of a similar size. Dead easy to use. As I pulled up there at a standstill, after nearly an hour's ride, it went into neutral without too much faffing. Before, I would have had to stop the engine and put it into neutral, and the clutch would have been dragging. So we've got back, no drag, no issues, much better gear change. Yep, I would endorse that, definitely. Obviously the real test will be when we get it here on a hot day in queuing traffic, when we're going to some event or whatever, which is when it really caused us problems, or whenever there was roadworks and things. But until then, yep, I'm happy. So for now, I'll see thee. Remember, as always, I am the Barnsley Biker. Please like, please subscribe, please follow. Ta-ra for now.